Hi everyone, Jama Malmy here, and I'm going to share a Halloween layout using this pumpkin overlay. I was inspired by this layout from Danny V. I thought it was super cute. I loved the idea of this is about 8 by 8 little overlay that her flowers is a cut file. And I thought, oh, I can do that with pumpkins. So you may remember the Halloween layout I did a few days ago. And this is from the Complete Creativity Cricut collection. It comes pre-designed for you and you just cut it. So what I did is I took just the pumpkins from the layout and took everything else away in Design Space. And then I took those pumpkins and I duplicated them a bunch of times and I resized them and I put them in this sort of square format and then I welded them. I'm going to go ahead and start playing around. I will speed this up and I hope you enjoy.
So before I started this layout, I went through what feels like every single piece of paper in my craft stash. And I pulled out this colorful kind of dotted stripe one, which I think works so perfectly with the photo, with the colors in the photo. And I love that photo. I love it because my daughter's so cute and our colors coordinate and it's just the perfect composition. I love it for so many reasons, but I just love the colors in it and I wanted to really bring out all of those colors. This layout is much busier and a lot more going on than most of my layouts are, but I just had so much fun with it, and I have a bunch of Halloween embellishments and stuff from over the years because I didn't really scrapbook Halloween until my kids were old enough to trick-or-treat, yet I collected Halloween embellishments. So I'm just pulling them out from all kinds of years here, and it was just really fun. So you see there how I gutted that orange paper so that I didn't waste any of that paper behind. And I will be using some of that to back the pumpkins. I backed all of the pumpkins with lots of different colors to, again, bring out all of those colors. Now, if I were smart, I would have used the pumpkins from the Cricut file and actually resized the background of the pumpkins too with these overlays. So I didn't have to cut each of these like this, but this is how you would typically back a cut file. And so you're seeing that, like if you buy a SVG file that's an overlay like this is how people typically would back them. And so I'm just doing it the hard way. But what I'm going to do is go back to my Cricut Design Space file and add the actual pumpkin backgrounds as well. And the Cricut file is available to anybody who purchases the Complete Creativity Cricut collection from me or any of the other Close to My Heart Cricut collections. I will share my Design Space files with you. So if you do purchase this collection, then let me know so that I can send you the link. So what I'm doing is kind of making sure that all of the colors are sort of in a, that rule of 3. I want them to be pleasing to the eye where each of the colors are situated, but also take into account the colors in my crazy hair, and my daughter had a lot of turquoise. So the colors in the photo also played into which color each pumpkin was going to be. All of the papers are taken from lots of random places, as I mentioned. That green is from a Die Cuts with a View, I think citrus paper stack. I couldn't tell you where a lot of the other ones are from. The pink polka dot one I used is from one of Close to My Heart's paper packs. I think it was the Mix-In paper pack from a couple catalogs ago. The Pumpkin Faces base, which you see the plaid side up right now, but there you go. The Pumpkin Faces, which I'm using as the base of my page, is from Hello Pumpkin, which was from last Halloween. I loved that collection because it's got a lot of black and white with pops of orange, And I just love black and white, and I thought it made a perfect backdrop for this layout. I used another one of the papers from that paper collection here as the background for the photo. I wasn't liking any of the colors to back the photo. I didn't want it quite that vibrant, so the white with black writing and then just slightly inking the edges in orange just gave it that perfect pop that it needed. It wasn't too overwhelming. And then I thought about putting some vellum behind it, but I backed some of the pumpkins with vellum. Yes, vellum is making a comeback. That vellum has been in my stash since I started as a consultant like 11 years ago. So I was happy to use it. But anyways, I didn't like the vellum behind the photo. So I just went ahead and glued the photo right onto the layout as it is now. I put lots of foam tape behind that overlay. The vellum pumpkins are not going to show, so I just put the 3D foam tape right behind where the photo is going to be. And then I forgot that I wanted to do some mixed media and add the gesso to make the pumpkin stand out a little bit more off of the background. And it was too late to pull up because that foam tape is really sticky. And so I ended up starting out with my fingers, and once I started, I was like, oh no, what did I do? I hate this. And I couldn't stop, so I just kept going, and I pulled out my paintbrush, which helped. It's a flat brush, so it got under the nooks and crannies. And then in the end, I ended up liking it. I don't like that you can see the real dark color of the background in the gaps between the pumpkins because I couldn't get the gesso in there. But you'll see with all my embellishing, I'm purposely trying to cover up most of those gaps so that you can't tell that it didn't have the gesso on it. Gesso, if you don't know, is just kind of like a watered down acrylic paint, sort of. It's typically used in mixed media. You can put it in a really thin layer, and I think it comes in clear too, in different colors. I have white, and so it just puts a real thin layer of white down. I used it a little bit thick here. I wanted it a little thinner, but oh well. And typically in mixed media, it helps like paints and splatters and other wet mediums show up on the paper so that the gesso sits on top of the paper, but the paint and splatters and stuff sit on top of the gesso so it doesn't soak into the paper. But I used it here in just to help the background pop off the page a little bit. So I am playing with a lot of embellishments, and I have sped this up more because I just started playing with a lot of stuff. I pulled out lots of paper compliments and embellishment collections. These stickers are from the Hello Pumpkin also, I believe. I used that Trick or Treat is one of the cut apart pages from the Hello Pumpkin paper. I backed it with the green, and so you'll see where I place that. I end up moving that green chipboard piece on the right up because I wanted to create that visual triangle of the pumpkin in the top left. I had the green background kind of in the bottom center, so then I moved that little chipboard bubble up to the right a little bit more. And as I keep placing more things and I move other things around, it's because I'm trying to balance all the color as well as the weight and size of each piece that I put down, so that everything is really well balanced and your eyes can dance around the page and not get caught up. And even though there's a lot going on this layout, because of the placement of all the colors and everything, I think that it still all works, and the photo still stands out. I actually put this layout on the table in our foyer after I finished it, and when my daughter came home that afternoon from school, she saw it right away and she just looked at it and smiled. She's like, "Mommy, that's my mermaid costume from last Halloween. And she just stared at it. It was so cute. I was like, do you like the layout? She's like, yeah. So it was really cute. My daughter loves looking at my scrapbooks, and it makes me so happy that she does, because I scrapbook for me because I love the process and the therapy and just the art of it. But obviously there's more to it, and capturing our memories and documenting them for our generations. And so it makes me happy that my next generation does love looking at my scrapbooks, and that they'll be right there for her forever. So anyways, I am just gluing everything down now, and I'm using a mixture of my ATG and liquid glass for certain things. Those plastic hearts are self-adhesive, and yeah, just making sure everything is glued down really well. So anyways, I lifted it up like that just to make sure that I didn't have anything that I was missing, gluing down. And then I went ahead and added the silver embellishing thread. So what I do is I wrap the thread around my fingers a few times and then kind of pull it. Oh, here I'm just tying it around the tag. That's right. So I just did a few layers of it for the tag. And then I looped a few around my fingers, and then I pulled it so that each loop is a little bit different length. And then where I'm pinching it and holding it all together, I wrap a large glue dot around it, and that holds it all together. And then I'm going to take my piercing tool and I'm going to shove it underneath that pumpkin right there, and just keep pushing it up there so that it's got the little rings sticking out. And then I'm going to do it again. I use my bone folder to get the creases out of the embellishing thread, because from being wound around that little spool, it puts creases in it. I'm doing the same exact thing, and if you notice my placement, I've got the embellishing thread loop in the bottom left. I'm putting it here in the top center, and then I have the embellishing thread tied onto that tag. So there's my little visual triangle there with the embellishing thread. You saw the the plastic hearts are scattered around in a visual triangle. I tried to put the weight of all of the black on the page in a visual triangle. I found this little Happy Halloween. I just really wanted to use it. Found a place for that so that all the white is still balanced. There's all these little dots and stars on the Hello Pumpkin sticker sheet I'm using now, and so I'm just kind of scattering those around as like little sequin embellishment almost. I really wanted to use that glitter bat, and I wasn't finding a place for it earlier, but I like it here. It kind of plays in with that heart that's right below it as far as the balancing of the black across the page, so I thought it worked there, kind of tucked behind that pumpkin. And then I'm just going to go around and put the sequins on with liquid glass. So there we have the finished layout. I hope you enjoyed this different way to use the pumpkins from the Complete Creativity Cricut collection. If you enjoyed this video, I'm creating lots more process videos using this collection and other things, and I'd love it if you subscribe to my channel. If you're interested in purchasing the Complete Creativity Cricut collection or any of Close to My Heart's other collections, which are all awesome, I have my affiliate link below. You can purchase it right from Cricut's website and have it in your account automatically. Thanks a lot, and have a great day.